Hi Scorpio, welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. Today we're doing your reading for December. And I'm filming this in the middle of December, so it doesn't really matter what time of the month I do the readings. I'm really just trying to tune in to the present energy. So I know some of these readings are going to get out later in the month, but I always find there's a reason for that. So I just wanted to point that out, but let's see what else we get. The Lovers. Let's get one more. And the Nine of Cups. Interesting. I, for some reason, just got the expression fleeing the scene, with the Seven of Swords here. You seem to be walking away from a situation that felt like it really could have fulfilled some desires that you had or have. But once you got deep into it, you realize that it was not only not going to fulfill these desires, but actually create a feeling of uneasiness within you. And I think it's so clear to you now, because swords are that very logical clarity. So this is so clear to you now that you're kind of gathering up your energy, whatever you've put into this, you're kind of taking it back and you're running far away. Because what your desires are is the Lovers, something very balanced, something very expansive, dreamy. And with the Nine of Cups, it's you're pretty aware of what it is that's going to bring you that satisfaction, so you can really live your desires out. And I think where you have been or where you are now is not where that's going to happen. And you see that now, and you're really removing yourself from the situation. Because your desires, I keep feeling they're just so strong right now. They're creating urges inside of you. So just make sure that your desires are coming from a good place, because I do see you might act on these urges, and it's not a bad thing as long as you know your intentions are good, and I think they are. You just want to make sure your desires are actually going to lead you to happiness. Desires and happiness are two different things. But I think you're coming into clarity about that, about what's truly going to bring you that satisfaction. And now that you have the clarity, I do see you wanting to run towards this new feeling very quickly. I have the Devil, which kind of goes back to that thought I had of just making sure that what you desire is actually good for you. It's just interesting to see the Devil here, especially next to the Seven of Swords. There could be some imbalances that, I'm trying to find a good way to say this without sounding like it's all you, because your outside experiences are affecting you too, but it kind of seems like you might be putting yourselves in situations that aren't bringing you balance, almost consciously, because the Devil is sort of this loop that you can get stuck in. And what's kind of funny is, the Devil and the Lovers are they're almost complete opposites, but they're opposites of the same feeling. So this is, choosing to connect. They're not bound together. The Lovers are choosing to stand next to each other. They have really good intentions. Their desires are bringing them goodness, these people, they're not reaching out with their hands because they're tied together. They're bound to each other. Their desires are leading them to this sort of negative loop. So, man, okay, so this reading's kind of like intricate to me, but it kind of feels like there could be a connection in your life where, okay, I'm starting to get the point of the reading, where as long as both people in this connection feel free, like they are choosing to be there, as long as that's what's binding you together, then it's all good. It's like both parties feel really good. But what is needed to achieve that is trust. Okay, so having the Seven of Swords here, it kind of tells me trust could be lacking from this connection, which is why the Devil is present. Because when the connection, it's like this connection has a light and a dark side. So the light side is when both parties feel free, they're actively choosing to spend time together. It's really expansive for both parties. But the dark side of this connection is sometimes one or both of you feel sort of bound to each other. Like you owe it to each other to stand with someone, you know, to keep working with them and keep connecting with them. And like, I hope this is making sense, but it's almost like this connection has potential to go either way. So it's really going to depend on the people and their willingness to trust, so that this connection can flourish and be something that does bring you this feeling. This is total like satisfaction, gratitude. Seven of Wands. I think you don't trust this person. It's like you have this urge inside of you to become defensive with them, because I think in the past they made you feel like they were taking from you, which made you feel like, oh my gosh, like I gotta get my energy, I gotta grab this back and get out of here because I don't want to be taken from anymore. And because of this past energy, you do have your defenses up. But what's interesting is you have no desire to not be around this person. You want to connect with this person and you want to trust them. I just don't think you quite know how at the moment, but you're getting the clarity. It's like the clarity is coming in this month where you can kind of see that positive potential. And it's like you kind of now understand how to get there, but you are going to have to work at whatever this is. You know, this is a nagging voice inside of your head that is negative and keeps you in a loop. Knight of Cups. Yeah, going from the Seven of Wands to the Knight of Cups, I do think you're going to start softening up. It's like you now are very conscious of this subconscious urge to be defensive. Now that it's in your awareness, I think you're really trying to give this a softer approach. It's like you really want to use your emotions for the better, because emotions can be channeled in different ways. So you can channel emotion into defensiveness, or you can channel it into vulnerability. And I think that that's what you're switching into. Oh my gosh. So as I was saying switching into, the word metamorphosis popped into my head, and right as that popped into my head, we got Death, which is your card, and it does stand for transforming into something else, moving through a portal and getting to the other side. So this connection is really transforming. And I think it's transforming because you are. I think you're really trying to work on your impulses and your bad habits. And like we all have them. And obviously this person in the connection needs to work on their stuff too. But what happens in a connection, I've realized too, is like there's always one party who kind of starts that evolution process a little bit faster. and or sooner and starts like elevating, the other person in the connection is either going to rise with them or stay in the same place. When one stays in the same place, the other tends to veer off. But I think that because you have the lovers here and you are so connected, that you are a mirror for each other. So if you start to rise, they're going to rise with you. You start to evolve and transform, they're going to evolve with you. The Tower, having the Tower and the Death, it's like the total foundation of this connection has to change for it to get to this point with the lovers, but I think it's going to. Because I think you both have a desire. Like there's been some mistrust here. There's been some confusion. But geez, the cards just went everywhere. But you're both still standing next to each other, you know? You're both still side by side. So you still have that desire to connect and to heal. But I do see one person sort of being a catalyst for the transformation within this connection. And I think it's you. You're becoming very aware and very conscious of your cycles, and I think you really want to break them. And it's not just going to improve your connections, it's going to improve absolutely everything. The Star, perfect way to end it. It's like the Star is that ultimate healing. It's like when all of your past negative experiences and more traumatic emotional experiences, once they move out of a state of like grief and you are in that healing phase, you can now use these experiences as wisdom, as stepping stools to raise yourself higher, because you have this like grand understanding of how you got into a negative situation, and now you have the wisdom to not repeat a cycle, to actually start an entirely new one. Especially with death here, an entirely new cycle is starting, but it does involve the same people, you know, it does involve the same environment, which is actually really beautiful. To transform in the same environment or in the same connection, that takes a lot of healing and a lot of vulnerability. So yeah, that was a lot. I hope that resonated, Scorpio, and I hope you have a great rest of your December.